Hey, how's it going, guys? Z-Dawg here,
as well as B-Jammin.
got a little team deathmatch here on Jungle. Just want to start the video off with kind of just a little introduction here. Um, we've been doing a really good job on commentating, just like first try commentaries, and I think the reason is because I've discovered that at B-Jammin's house here, he does have a staff as well as an elven crown that I've been kind of repping lately.
And in terms of, and when we say staff, what we mean is it's this metal thing that my mom uses to put postcards on.
And we're going to post a picture at the end, just kind of as a little motivator to subscribe to our channel. Just for future reference, the staff is the Staffin of Ovalachapelin. And I'm going to make the crown name up right now. It's the crown of Shmegafalo.
Shmigafalo. I'm going to write that down. Shmigafalo.
But anyways, this gameplay, set aside from the others, is a little different because I'm kind of using a different gun that I've never really used before. In previous videos, you'll notice I'm kind of like a big assault rifle, heavy rate of fire, just like that kind of type of gun. But this game, I'm obviously using the FAL. In past experiences, I've not been a fan of the single rate fire gun, but I popped it on, see what I could do, just kind of keep the subscribers interested. So you know.
So yeah, in terms of the FAL, I mean, I'm a fan of the FAL. I played a lot. I played with it a lot in Modern Warfare 2. Not as much when Black Ops started, but I discovered, when we started commentating, and we decided to use, a bunch of different guns to, show you guys, what this game's all about, and the different guns you can use. I picked up the FAL, and I'm enjoying it. Definitely, in terms of the single shot weapons, there's the FAL, the M14. FAL is definitely the better choice. M14. The damage is a little lower, so as well as the accuracy, and it kills in about 3 shots. Usually, in the FAL kills in 2. So I mean, in terms of the maps that you would use the FAL, jungle is definitely like the prime #1 choice, I would think. There's a lot of most of the action is focused around the outsides of the map, and that's something new. Usually any commentator, and we've been saying sticking to the outsides of the map is a pretty decent strategy. In any game type or game, and in terms of jungle, running up the middle of the map isn't necessarily that bad. Running under Pride Rock is usually pretty good because there's always little couple guys up there that are causing trouble, and we don't like them. And
Not a fan.
so Zach, why don't you go ahead and talk about using your cover and choke points to your advantage with this gun?
Okay, so with the FAL, it's going to be a little bit more of a long range weapon. I mean, unless you have the finger speed of like a cheetah or something,
or a modded controller,
in some unfair cases.
Some unfair cases.
The FAL is going to definitely be a more long range weapon, but that's not necessarily a disadvantage because the way I play with the FAL is I kind of let my teammates run ahead a little bit, almost as bait, but not quite, because I do have some faith in my team
and hope that they won't die.
Hope that they will not die. But that's kind of my strategy. I kind of let them go ahead a little bit, and especially on a map like Jungle where there's a lot of straightaways and choke points. I kind of just hang back and use the FAL more like a sniper, if anything. Because if you have their crosshairs on an enemy, it's not really going to go anywhere. The jumping on the FAL.
The recoil is pretty minimal. Very manageable.
Minimal.
Yeah, the minimal recoil. Minimal. Yeah, but yes, and then attachments for the FAL. As you see, Zach here is using the red dot sight, which is a pretty good attachment. I myself like slapping on an ACOG every once in a while, and especially linking back to what Zach just said about about hanging back, letting your teammates kind of draw the enemy in. The enemy kind of gets a little focused on them, and not so much you hanging back there. And I like the range that the FAL has in terms of the gun itself. But then slapping an ACOG on there only makes it better. You get to zoom in more, and. Yeah, so Zach, why don't you go ahead and talk about the kill streaks that you'd be running in this particular
Kill
gameplay.
streaks I'd be running.
Kill streaks you'd be running.
Okay, so kind of the go-to kill streak for me is the SR-71. You'll always really see me running the SR-71 only because it's always pretty beneficial to know where the teammate is and where they are heading. So I'm always really running the SR-71 unless I'm feeling kind of crazy and want to do a random set of kill streaks. But along with the SR-71, I have the Napalm Strike, which I believe is really beneficial on this map, especially because, like I said earlier in the video, there's a lot of straightaways in the map, and that's really the strength of the Napalm, is just kind of secluding a certain area of the map and kind of taking advantage of that. So if you have an SR-71 up, if you wait to use the Napalm until after you have the SR-71, you get to know where the teammates are, and you can kind of take advantage of that and get some kills out of it.
I just want to say this right here is pretty boss. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, going quite a little spree here. Really going back to the whole choking point tactic. Really picking your areas, hanging back, get my teammates up there, being a little distraction, and
Yeah, using your cover well here. And I'm sure most people who follow Call of Duty commentating would hear mention of the head glitch. And what that means is using a bit of cover, and on your enemy's screen they'll be seeing your head popping out over around this, or popping up over a piece of cover, but in actuality your gun itself is popping up. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let my cat in the door and let Zach keep talking here.
All right. So I was just finishing up on the kill streaks. Final kill streak is the dogs. Pretty self-explanatory. I do like my pooches. But yeah, that's kind of it as far as the kill streaks go. What else do we have to talk about here on that?
So going back to the whole thinking about having good luck with guns and some bad luck with guns, and when most players have these days when the gun they like isn't really doing it for them. If that ever happens to you, definitely please throw in the FAL.
Or really any gun for that matter that you haven't tried before, because up until this point I had not used the FAL. I've just stayed straight clear of it because I was not a fan. I didn't like it. I tried it like once in Modern Warfare 2 and not really a fan. But really, guys, try a gun that you've never tried before. You might like it.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you guys for watching.
Final score 37-5. Thanks you guys for watching,
and we'll see you later. Hey, subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe.